Hey everyone, it's Frank. With summertime upon us, I figured I was going to do a wacky worm video log. I talked about in my last one about what actually I do throughout the summer. This is step by step what I actually do to get a wacky worm setup going. So the first thing obviously is the rod. I'm using a 7-foot medium Berkeley lightning rod. To duck into some of these areas, I just don't want to take a high dollar rod. I'll talk about some economical bass setups later on, but for now what we're going to do obviously is just test our drag. And I'm using copolymer line, and I think this is something that is really important. When you cast this out, you should try to cast this out as far as you can and then let it sink down and then reel in your tension real quick. You should do this on about 2 or 3 casts to get that tension out. More so with lighter baits, but even ones like this, that's an O-bait crawl worm, or a lot of people use the young dinger, is probably the most popular one. It's around 3/8 of an ounce. At least do it a couple times to get that tension out with that copolymer. After that, you're going to be pretty much fine. For those of you that are using copolymer, to get some of that stretch out. The reason why I'm using this crawfish color worm, I've had a lot of success with it before. It's called a cross swirl. There aren't many like it on the market. This one's an O-bait. I think it's got like an anise scent, and so that's pretty much starting that with the wacky worm. The next step that we want to really hit on is how do you fish a pond like this. As you can see, you've got some moss and everything that's growing up, some algae and things like that already. What does that mean? There's pits like this in ponds throughout the country, and not all pits are created equal. So certainly one thing we definitely want to focus in on is that we're hitting areas that have bass. So if you're the kind of person, when you fish, you run a spinnerbait, let's say there, right out in front of you, and then you cast a spinnerbait out, maybe like this, to try to find bass. That's not going to be a really good technique for you, because you got to find where there's deep green oxygen. You got to find where these fish are going to be located. And it doesn't happen overnight. That's why I'm doing a video log like this, particularly in ponds. So what I'm looking for are drop-offs in particular. Usually I look to hear that sound. In this pond, I know I've caught a big bass out here, a few smaller ones out there. These fish are mixed in pre-spawn, post-spawn. It's June 1st. It's just now warming up. But like, for example, there's probably not going to be a fish right there. Okay, so I'm not even going to hit that. I'm not even going to waste my time. That's, for all intents and purposes, it's back to that bass location theory video I did with that pH. The pH is not ideal. There's not going to be any bass there. So if you're pond fishing, that's the number one thing. I think pond fishermen, are there fishing these ponds, etc. Yes, there's big bass, but you have to know where to hit. So like I said, your drop-off areas are definitely going to be the areas. Just wait for that bait to sink. Everyone knows the wacky worm technique. Now regarding some of the more subtle things, it's June. You've got fish that are spawning. You've got fish that have spawned out. This is, like I mentioned in the past video logs, you're talking, this is one of the coldest springs that we've ever had on record. So that's important to note. So I'm going to be fishing this slower than faster, looking for drop-offs. I've caught fish out this way, and that helps when you're reading out. Like I said, you're looking, if you fish a wacky worm, what's a drop-off and what isn't. And this crawl worm is pretty good so far in what I've used it in recently, and I think I've caught one decent fish everywhere I've used this bait. So it's a really good confidence technique for tougher conditions like this when you're fishing earlier spring, late spring, early summer. Again, I'm just rigging it with that 1/0 Yamagatsu. I think I mentioned that small hook. Don't need a big one. It has a lot of anise in that bait. I can smell it from up here, despite the fact that we're right near the expressway too. But for the most part, that's just what we're going to do. We're going to hit areas that are farther out that I know there's going to be drop-offs. That's the real key when you're covering water, when you're learning to fish these baits. So, just again, get yourself a good cast and wait for that drop-off. Don't spend a lot of time. This isn't like the stitching technique that I was fishing. A lot of times I'll hit it right on the drop. This isn't like the stitching technique. You're going to drop it. If there's going to be active fish, they're going to pretty much pick it up and go with it. It's just that kind of a bait. They seem to really key in on that craw color pretty quick. It's not like some of the other colors I've used, it seems like, where maybe black, where they're a little bit more reluctant to hit it. They are going to chomp down on this right away. So like I said, the main thing is to cover watering and be ample about it. Don't waste a lot of time in one spot. So that's it for the Wacky rig so far, and I'll see if I can get some fish later on.